Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys checking out today's episode and spending some time with me. And guys, today we're going to have a conversation as far as worm hooks. If you want to use a straight shank worm hook like this on the right, or a EWG style worm hook, the two different ones available. And there's a time and place for both of them, and I'm going to sort of give you guys a good little seminar on that, because based upon the type of lure that you're using, each one of the lures requires a different hook in order to maximize the efficiency of catching fish on it. So we're going to discuss that in today's episode. Also, guys, I will link some of my favorite hooks in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to order some there through that Tackle Warehouse link. And also, guys, please consider hitting that subscribe button here at Advanced Bass Fishing. We just reached 11,000 subscribers. We're really working hard to try to just grow the channel to 15, 20,000 subscribers. So that'd be much appreciated if you could do that. Okay, guys, I've talked about this quite a bit on some of my other channels, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail on this thing, because I think a lot of people, they watch some of my videos and they say, well, you said this or that or this or that, and now you're saying this or that. So I want to sort of clarify, a little bit on it. Now, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the EWG hook now. This is the most user-friendly hook that you can use, simply because it's easy to rig and it's easy for the lure to stay in place. So the rigging on this is pretty simple with it, and I'll show you why this is probably the most popular style. Is that the little crook in the hook at the top here, it keeps the bait locked down good, and it keeps it straight, and then you just come through the bait out the other side, lay it along the top, or either barely hook it back in. And it's very user-friendly. It's easy to rig, it stays in place, it doesn't fall down, it's uniform every time. A lot of people like this. But in my opinion, the style of the EWG inherently, now this has been my experience on fishing, I lose more fish on an EWG than I do a straight shank hook. But there's some times where some baits you have to rig on an EWG hook, because the advantage of an EWG hook over a straight shank is it has a keel on it. Because see the way that the bait lays in here, it sort of has a keel that makes the bait go straight like that. The bait doesn't go down to an angle off to the one side. It falls perfectly straight like that. Now there's some baits that you need that. Like for example, if you're using, like a fluke or something like that, or sometimes, different type of lures that you want to maintain a certain position, sometimes that's really good. A tube, for example, you have to use the EWG in a tube just because of the way the bait's set up. But here's my advice to it. Do not use an EWG hook unless you have to. It's like if you're using it out of convenience, you might want to consider changing to a straight shank hook. A straight shank hook's a little bit more, takes a little bit more skill as far as to rig it, and it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. But efficiency-wise, you just land so many more fish. So there's a couple of different ways that I rig a straight shank hook, depending upon the bait. Sometimes I'll rig it straight through the middle, and I'll come out just like that on the back side and bury it back in like that. Now I'll do that for a bait like a creature bait, say a Z-hog or a beaver. But if I'm fishing a worm, I just come in the side and I just skin hook it in the side of the bait like that. Now this is the way that I prefer to do it, simply because the hook will break free like that. And you get a lot better hook sets with it. But I basically just skin hook it like that on worms, any type of a round profile lure. I learned the hard way with this. It's like for a lot of different years, or probably guys for close to a decade, I used the EWG hooks most all the time. I didn't use straight shanks. And I got talking to some of the best flippers in the country, like Tommy Biffle, and all of them, they use straight shank hooks. And they got talking to me about it and explaining it, why they used it. I started utilizing it. And I started noticing my land ratios went way up by going to a straight shank hook. Now, there's pluses and minuses to this. If you're not really concerned about just like being the best that you possibly can be, and you just want to have a relaxing day of fishing, and if you catch them, fine. If you don't, fine. Then yeah, stay with the EWG, because it's easy to use, it's easy to rig. It's not like you lose all the fish on it. You'll still land most of the fish. But if you are a perfectionist and you really want to maximize your efficiency and fine tune it and fine hone it, get comfortable using a straight shank hook with most of your soft plastic lures. get practice rigging it up, practice, all the little perks as far as getting it straight and getting, rigging it with different type of lures. And you'll notice your hook land ratio goes way up if you start utilizing those straight shanks a little bit more. And another piece of advice I'll give you guys is most people, from what I have seen, and I was guilty of the same thing, is they use a little bit too big of a hook for their soft plastic lures. The bigger hook does not equate into landing more fish. It actually equates into you landing less fish, because the characteristics of a larger hook is you have a larger diameter of wire, which makes it more difficult to penetrate. And it's all about penetration. It's like, I don't care as much about the stiffness of a hook or the size of a hook. I want that penetration. I want that barb into that fish's mouth, because once that barb gets into that fish's mouth, they have a very difficult time in throwing that hook. But if you have a large diameter, large hook, a lot of times you may get the point of that lure not to the barb, and that's when they jump and they throw it out. And another thing with that, the larger hook that you have, the more visual it is to the fish. It's a visual strike deterrent. So a smaller hook is a less of a strike deterrent, and it actually lands fewer fish. And that's why I really, really like that Gamakatsu G Finesse worm hook line. I'll link that in my Tackle Warehouse link. This is a nano-coated hook, guys, like this. It's a super, super slick hook. It's got sort of an O'Shaughnessy bend on it, a super chemically sharpened point. It's got a really nice tin keeper. It's just the superior hook in my opinion. So I'll put that in the video description. So anyway, guys, hope you can use some of those tips to help you guys out, and we'll check in later.